He served 3 decades in the U.S. military, earned the highest honors, survived wars overseas. But nothing prepared him for what a racist cop did to him in an American courtroom. What happened next? The entire nation watched justice unfold. It all started on a regular Monday morning inside a packed courtroom in Georgia. The air was thick with tension. A high-profile case was about to begin. Judges, lawyers, reporters, and law enforcement officers were moving around, preparing for the hearing. Suddenly, the courtroom doors opened, and in walked General Samuel Richardson, a decorated black U.S. Army veteran in full uniform. His medals glistened under the courtroom lights. He carried himself with the quiet dignity of a man who had served his country for over 30 years. Most people in the room paused to acknowledge him, with respect. But not everyone. Across the room stood Deputy Paul Hansen, a white police officer with a reputation for being, let's say, old school. He noticed General Richardson walking toward the witness bench while talking on the phone. That's when it happened. "Hey! You can't be on your phone in here. Step away immediately." Hansen barked loudly, marching toward the general. The room fell silent. General Richardson calmly responded, "Officer, I'm on a call with the Pentagon. This is official business." But Hansen wasn't having it. He raised his voice again, this time pointing his finger right in the general's face. "I don't care who you are. This is a courtroom, not your military base. Put that phone down or I'll have you removed." The courtroom gasped. Just as the situation was about to explode, Judge Franklin, who had been watching from the bench, stood up. "Deputy Hansen, that man is General Samuel Richardson. He's here as a witness in this case and is on an authorized government call. Stand down. Now." But the officer didn't back down. He shouted, "I don't care if he's the president. He still has to follow the rules like everyone else." The general, calm as ever, ended his call and quietly said, "You just disrespected a U.S. general in front of a federal judge and a full courtroom. I've dealt with enemies overseas with more respect than this." Everyone in the room was stunned. Cameras were rolling, people were tweeting, and within minutes, clips of the confrontation started spreading online like wildfire. Judge Franklin looked at the bailiff and ordered, "Remove Deputy Hansen from the courtroom. Effective immediately." Hansen was shocked. He stared at the judge in disbelief, but the bailiff approached him and asked him to leave. As he was escorted out, he mumbled, "This is ridiculous. Just because he's in a fancy uniform." After Hansen was removed, the court session resumed, but the tension didn't disappear. General Richardson was there to testify in a case involving racial profiling by law enforcement. And ironically, he had just become a fresh example. Later that evening, the video clip of the courtroom incident went viral. It was everywhere. "Racist cop disrespects black U.S. general. Watch what happens." People from all over the country were outraged. Celebrities, veterans, and civil rights activists took to social media to express support for General Richardson. But what most people didn't know was the backstory. Deputy Hansen had 3 previous complaints filed against him for racially motivated behavior. He had been suspended twice before but returned to duty after each incident. General Richardson, on the other hand, had survived 2 wars, led thousands of troops, and had been awarded the Medal of Honor. He wasn't just a symbol of patriotism. He was the embodiment of strength, integrity, and grace under pressure. When reporters asked him how he felt after the incident, he replied, "I've spent my life fighting for a country that doesn't always fight for me. But I'll never stop doing what's right. Not even in a courtroom." 2 days later, an emergency hearing was called, not for the original case, but for Deputy Hansen's behavior. The courtroom was again filled with people. General Richardson was invited to speak. He stood before the judge and the audience and gave a statement that no one would forget. "I didn't come here looking for trouble. I came to tell the truth." But what happened that day? It reminded me that no matter how high you rise, some people still only see your color, not your character. He paused, looking directly at Hansen, who now sat at the defendant's table. No badge, no uniform, just a man being held accountable. "I've seen enemies in war zones. I've watched young soldiers die for this flag. And yet, I come home and face hostility from the very people sworn to protect and serve. That's not just disappointing, it's dangerous." The courtroom erupted in applause. Even the judge took a moment before speaking. "Deputy Hansen, your actions were not only disrespectful, they were disgraceful. This court recommends your immediate termination and referral for sensitivity and anti-bias training. Furthermore, we recommend you be investigated for all previous complaints filed against you." Justice was served, loud and clear. After the hearing, General Richardson was interviewed on national television. His story became a symbol of something larger. "This isn't just about me," he said. "It's about the thousands of people, black, brown, and even poor white Americans, who get disrespected every day by those in uniform who think they're above the law." In the days that followed, Deputy Hansen was officially fired. The police department issued a formal apology to General Richardson. The city council announced a full audit of officer conduct and training programs. And perhaps most importantly, hundreds of young black kids in local schools were shown the courtroom clip, not to see the hate, but to witness the strength and calm of a real hero. General Richardson continued his public service, this time not with guns or medals, but with words and wisdom. He started visiting schools, telling young people, "You are more than what people assume about you. Be proud. Stand tall. And never let ignorance break your dignity." The moment in that courtroom didn't just change one man's fate, it ignited a national conversation about respect, race, and justice. Because sometimes, the most powerful battles don't happen on the battlefield, they happen in quiet rooms, with a voice strong enough to speak truth, even when it's not easy. If that shocked you, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe for more.